What's up, y'all? You rocking with Moochie, and this is Moochilla's Review. So hit the hammer, because you came through. I'm talking about Hightown, Episode 8, Season 2. And the name of the episode is Houston, We Have a Problem. I'm going to do a breakdown of the episode, scene for scene, see if we can pick out some clues. So let's get into it.
Charmaine, on the other hand, there's still hope for her. But she's still out there. Lonely, scared, in business with some dangerous people. Too afraid to even come to her own sister's funeral. The best thing you can do is to help me find her before something happens to her, too.
I should call Lance and let him know we're gonna be late.
I said get out.
Ray is rubbing Daisy's cat, waiting for Jackie to wake up from her alcohol and cocaine-fueled binge. And now they're discussing the case again. And Jackie lets Ray know that she believes that Daisy is dead. Ray tells Jackie she needs to have more information to support the fact that Daisy is dead before bringing this to Santel. So she gets up and gets herself together to get her proof. This supposed to be Massachusetts water? Because it looked like Alka-Seltzer. It just look all cloudy. But Ray tells her maybe she needs to go to a meeting. And she's like, no, I just need to do my job and then I won't party. So she's going to get herself together and look for proof for Daisy. Renee is looking at herself in the mirror and her belly is growing. And she hears a gunshot. Her 5-year-old son is learning how to shoot. Frankie is teaching this little boy how to shoot, and Renee is pissed. Frankie comes to the realization that Jorge is dead, and he wants to be ready because he feels like he's next, and he wants to find out who it is. Renee tells Frankie that there's plenty of people out here that wants to kill him, and he needs to find out who it is. Osito is walking on a cloud after that kiss from Janelle. And when he gets to his physical therapy session, Janelle is not there. It's some big burly guy. Osito's like, where's Janelle? And he's like, you got me. So what happened to her? Jackie goes to see Junior's baby's mother, Donna, to see if she could find out what's going on with Daisy. She finds out Jorge and Daisy's been missing. Jackie lies about being 78 days clean. Now, y'all know she was just high the night before. I think Donna can tell, though. I think Donna could tell that Jackie's lying. So Jackie checks Daisy's Instagram, and her real name is Brittany Chin. Jackie sees that it hasn't been any activity on her social media, but she sees a clue, Daisy's daughter. Osito is getting stretched out and worked hard by the physical therapist. And he gets a visitor, and it's Frankie that's coming to see him. Frankie confronts Osito, and he wants to know, did he tell anything? And Osito tells him, if I told anything, you would be right in here with me. Frankie wants to know if Osito is responsible for Jorge being dealt with. And he lets him know, I don't send people to do my work. And the two of them face off, and he lets her know, if I put him in the ground, you would know it. I'd leave a note. Renee comes to see Ray. She tells how Frankie had their son, Frankie Jr., shooting a gun. And Ray tells her she needs to get away from him. Renee lets Ray know that she's been with Frankie since she was 18, so she really knows nothing else. And who's going to take care of her child? And Ray lets her know, I want to take care of you and your child. Ray tells her that Frankie's a drug dealer and a murderer. Renee tells Ray that she knows about a shipment, and she's going to give him as much information to get Frankie. My question is this: do you think that Ray is being honest, that he really wants to take care of Renee? Or do you think he's just doing anything to get his job back? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Alan Santel finds out about Aileen's funeral, the date and time, and he's going to go there and pay his respects and check things out and see what he can get. I think he's going to try to see if he could reach out to Charmaine. Santel has a genuine concern for Charmaine. He's worried about her. Frankie is making the rounds. Now he goes to see Charmaine and he lets her know that she cannot supply to Osito. Charmaine lets her know that she has it under control and he doesn't run this part of her business. And Frankie tells her now, look girl, playtime is over. Now the grown-ups are taking over. And Charmaine holds her ground. Charmaine sticks to her guns. She's not backing down. And she lets him know that's not how you talk to a boss. And Ray meets up with Major Markson. He lets him know that he can give him Frankie on a case with drugs. Ray wants Markson to help him get reinstated. He wants him to help him get his job back. He also wants his confidential informant to have granted immunity. And Markson says he can't do this unless he gets Caesar arrest. So Ray wants Markson to help him get his job back and also grant Renee immunity. Jackie goes up to Daisy's daughter's school. Her daughter's name is Valentina. And she asks Valentina, has she seen her mom? And she's like, I don't know you. Are you my mom's friend? And she's like, yeah, we work together. She was like, you're a dancer? And and she's like, no. And then she mentions the cat, Ali Vali. She hasn't heard from her mother since last Tuesday, and she didn't come to Thanksgiving. So that's a clue right there that she might be dead. So Osito comes back to his cell, and there's two people jonesing in that cell. Vernon is jonesing because he getting high off the supply, and Osito jonesing off Janelle. So Osito finds out that he's getting high. He tells him it's only one way this can end, and he's done if he doesn't leave this stuff alone. So he gets his warning. Ray tells Jackie that he flipped Renee. He also tells Jackie about Frankie and Charmaine chartering the private plane and that they have an 11 a.m. flight and she needs to put surveillance on them and they probably could bust them through TSA. But she wants him to go and he tells her, it can't come from me. You got to do this without Santel. So she goes to Leslie's house to tell her this. And Leslie's kind of not on board. She's not trusting this whole thing. But she goes in. And she hopes she doesn't regret going in with Jackie on this surveillance, on this stakeout. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Frankie and Renee are back at their house. And he wants to know what she has planned for today. Renee lets Frankie know that she has a couple of errands to run in laundry. And he tells her he's going to be gone for a while and to keep her phone on because he might need her. Now Renee kisses him goodbye. But she does it like she's kissing him like it's going to be a long time before they see each other. My question is, do you think Frankie figures it out here? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So Jackie and Leslie are at the airport. They're waiting for things to happen and they're staking it out looking for Charmaine and Frankie. Jackie apologizes to Leslie. She admits that she was wrong and she explains to her that's what happens when you're an addict. You replace one addiction for the next. And basically she's explaining that Leslie was her addiction. So Santel goes to Aileen's funeral. He talks to Charmaine's aunt. He tells her how Charmaine is in business with some dangerous people. Charmaine's aunt explains how Charmaine has dealt with death before the age of 8 and her uncle Wayne raised her and gave her a home. And she also tells her that she was taught to never speak to police. So she's not helping. So Frankie takes Charmaine to the airport. He shows up early. They're driving to the airport. He goes past the exit for the airport, makes a detour, passes along a cranberry field, and then he makes Charmaine get out of the car. He makes her get out of the car. So Charmaine knew something wasn't right once he missed the exit. And then when she saw the cranberry field, but then when he made her get out the car, oh Lord, she looked like, oh my God, something's wrong. I need to try to stop this. So she tells Frankie she needs to call Houston, the pilot, to let her know that she's going to be late. And he's not trying to hear all of that. She gets out of the car, and he's behind her, and now he has the gun out. So she's thinking, like, her life is flashing before her eyes. He takes this gun out. She turns around. She sees the grave that's already dug. So she thinks it's for her. So she's... Now, at this moment, she turns into a kid. She turns into a kid. And she thinks this is the end of her life. I'm thinking this is the end of her life. I'm scared for her. But then Houston gets out the car. And he's tied up. And he's pleading for his life for her. And she's trying to figure out how he's there. And it happens so fast the way he shoots him. So Frankie shoots Lance Houston in the head. Kills him. And the blood splatters on Charmaine's face. And she's like, why did you do that? And he was like, we gotta stop flying planes. He was just so calm about it. Okay, help me move this body. And I just was like, oh my God. So Frankie lets her know that Lance could have got her 20 years. He tells Charmaine they got heat on them and they got to change things up. And he tells her we got some heat on us and we're going to have to change up our operation. No more planes.
Charmaine, please.
No more fucking planes.
Ray gets a text that Charmaine never showed up at the airport. And Renee lets Ray know that she has to... So Renee has to leave because now that nobody's at the airport, that means Frankie's back at the house. So Ray is still kind of not trusting her, but she did come through with her end of the bargain. Things just went sideways. So Renee gets back to the house. And Frankie's there sitting at the table. And he has the GPS in his hand. And he's basically twirling it around like it's a Rubik's Cube. And she's acting like she don't know what it is. And he says he outsmarted the cops. Frankie tells her that Chaluta waited at the airport. And he saw the police. And also, he tells her that he's not going to involve her anymore in his business. Now, she messed up with this part because she was like, why? Don't say why. Earlier this morning, you was like you didn't want to be involved. Stick to your thing because now I think he's starting to look at her now. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Santel goes to visit Osito and the visiting room is full. Other inmates see that he's talking to the police. And Santel don't care. He lets him know if he doesn't corroborate, he's going back in gym pop. So Santel says he knows everything that's going on. And Charmaine came to see him. Frankie came to see him. And he was like, all right, you caught me. And he lets him know that he thinks I have something to do with his cousin getting killed. And he let him know. So then he knows, Santel knows now that Frankie thinks that Jorge is dead. So Leslie is kind of disappointed and pissed off at Jackie because this whole thing didn't pan out. They didn't get anything, and she's mad that she listened to Ray, and she's also mad that she took his advice, and she finds out that Jackie thinks Leslie's dead, and she's like, why didn't you start off with that? And she kicks out the car and basically, see you at work tomorrow. So So Osito goes to talk to his boo Janelle. He wants to know, why you ghosting me? And she's like, I'm not ghosting you. She breaks it down to him. She lets him know, look, I've been on this job 20 years, and she's not that girl that's into bad boys. And he was like, well, why you kiss me then? And she doesn't answer him. And he tells her that I want you to tell me that I'm going to get out one day. And he said, I'm going to be a free man and I'm going to come to your house. You're going to have your hair done. You're going to have some tight jeans looking good. And you're going to let me in your house. I hope this comes true. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And so Jackie shows up at Ray's house and she's mad about how everything turned out at the airport. At this point, Jackie is obsessing over this case. She wants to talk to Renee and right now, and she wants to ask about Daisy, but it may not be safe for Renee to talk. And sure enough, it wasn't. Frankie's in the house. She had to go to the bathroom, turn the water on, and she's just asking her questions, and Renee hangs up on her. She gets pissed off with Ray. She lets him know that basically you played me, and he tells her, I'm trying to get my job back. And they leave. She leaves pissed off at him, and she takes the cat. Then she shows up at Santel's house, and Santel puts her in her place. Lets her know that you went off doing this and you following Ray. You really messing up. You could be a good cop, and are you drinking again? Now, if you're drinking again, he's going to start drug testing her the next day. Now, I want to know, if he drug tests her the next day, she gonna be messed up. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I believe that Santel had to have this conversation with Jackie because she was spiraling out of control. She was out of control. Do you think that Santel is gonna stick to his words by drug testing Jackie? Now Jackie finally gets home at the end of the night, and Frankie and Chaluta is on her porch. They are on her porch, and she plays it cool, but he's telling her, I know you scared. But she like, I got 7 inches of steel. She got the hammer, y'all. And Chaluta, he not playing with her either. But her landlord comes out, and he was like, I already called the cops. And you need to get off my property. And they leave, and Chaluta yells out the window, Buta. So, oh my God, he yells at her. I'm surprised he did something like that, because he was on some chick shit with that. So that was my review of Houston, We Have a Problem. Please like, share, and subscribe. And hit the hammer because you came by. And let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you got any clues or future predictions, please list them. And later.